So I am watching wildlife right now. There's a raccoon. Let's see if you can see it here. It wants to cross the path and is now thinking else. Otherwise, maybe it's thinking about it. So today's hike finds me in the jungles of east central Florida. I'm just outside of DeLand, Florida, at the Lake Woodruff National Wildlife Refuge. It's kind of a migratory spot, I've learned, for birds. So you can see all kinds of crazy birds here. It's also one of the places I can hike around here, so I thought I would do that. I'm in DeLand, Florida, because we're visiting family. Son-in-law has recently accepted a job at Stetson University. Actually caught a little bit of Stetson baseball. The Atlantic Sun Conference tournament was in DeLand over the weekend. Took the oldest grandson to the semifinal game. Exciting one. Stetson won. They ended up winning the championship, and now they're off to the NCAA tournament, chasing Omaha, where they're going to play Florida State in Tallahassee, the number one regional seed, not the number one regional seed, but a regional seed and the top seed in their region. Florida State hosting Stetson, who did beat the Seminoles this season in a game. So what should we talk about? Should we continue talking about Louisville baseball? Because while Stetson and Florida State are in the NCAA tournament for the second straight year, Louisville baseball is not. It's not Louisville baseball. Which brings up a question. What is? I've heard people are saying it. They're tweeting it on X, whatever you want to call that. They are saying it on the message boards at Cardinal Authority. What exactly is Louisville baseball? It certainly is a program with much different expectations than when I was a youngster, that's for sure. But those expectations jumped mightily in 2007 and have continued to soar and remain there, as they should. Once you prove you can do something, that's where the expectations can sit, especially when you do it multiple times, correct? I think that's logical. So, what I thought of Louisville baseball, or what Louisville baseball's expectations were when I was younger, is irrelevant to the expectations now. See Lake Woodruff coming into view here on this trail. There we go. Big lake. There's some thunder rumbling coming in. Dark clouds over there. So, Louisville, the expectations for Louisville baseball has changed, and obviously missing the NCAA postseason for 2 consecutive years, 3 out of the last 4, is not what the expectation level is. Hey, should we continue to look at wildlife? Let's continue to look at wildlife. Here we go. Name this. What's this critter? Let's not get hurt doing this one. Let's not lose any fingers or devices in the filming of this. So yeah, number of areas where improvements can be made. Obviously you need a better field, so you need a better pitching. Those are two clear, obvious. So where are the answers for that? Certainly want to continue to recruit to high school ranks at the level that Louisville baseball has been recruiting, but with the NIL and especially the transfer portal in baseball, as we've seen in other sports, you know, the impact of veteran guys is significant. And we're seeing that in college baseball. Not so much at Louisville yet. I do want to tip the hat to Dylan Hoy and Sebastian Gongora for their performances this year. But you need more of that, especially on the mound. So yeah, Louisville needs to find a way to take advantage of the transfer portal. Find ways to utilize the NIL to baseball's advantage. Another one that a lot of people are talking about is staffing. Do staffing changes need to be made? That's always difficult, and it always seems like the easy answer. Sometimes it is. Sometimes if you make a change, it does prove to be the decision that you should have made. But sometimes it doesn't. I think what Louisville will do is kind of roll with the staff they have. They've all clearly proven themselves to know how to win at the highest level in college baseball. But something seems to be slipping. And as I mentioned, you could point to the portal, you could point to NIL, you could point to facilities. I've been to a number of college baseball stadiums around the country, and Louisville's got a nice facility, it does, but it's not one that jumps out anymore. And they're certainly making improvements. Tip of the hat again for the new locker room, Henry Davis. Well done, looks good. So there's a number of things, but certainly in this day and age, I think the portal, let's take a turn here. NIL have become 1A and 1B in any order. So I think Louisville needs to find a way to capitalize on those, and I kind of anticipate that they will. This is going to be an important season, important off season for all involved. I mean, we're going back to staffing. This is a staff that's been here for a long time, had a lot of success. Certainly don't want to end their time at Louisville. No, speaking generally, none of them on the staff want to end their time in Louisville on a down note. You know, Louisville baseball is one of the most winningest programs in the country since 2007, the arrival of Dan McDonnell, and they would like to go out, I'm sure, rightfully so, on a high note. But to do so, I think they're going to have to jump all over the transfer portal, jump all over the NIL as best they can. We got a tree down in the way. Let's go under. And again, I think that they will. I think we're going to see a greater effort in that regard, and I think it'll pay dividends. So yeah, very important off season for Louisville baseball. I think I'm not expecting really any major staff changes, but also expecting. So yeah, it's almost walking through a spider web. Walking through a spider web. So yeah, Louisville baseball with a very, very important offseason. What adjustments will the staff make? Eyeing transfer portal, eyeing a greater effort with the NIL to strengthen its roster, to bring in some experienced guys, especially on the mound. I like what Louisville has coming back at the plate. I like the recruiting and the class that's coming in. But yeah, you still need to go out and you need to find, some arms in the portal, maybe even a bat or two in the portal. But I think if done so, Louisville baseball can get itself back to where its expectations are pretty quickly. Let's hope so. Selfishly, I like to spend a good chunk of my June chasing Louisville baseball around, especially when it ends with a stake in Omaha. So yeah, selfishly, let's get that done. I think we'll see improvement next year. Just how much? You have to get to the NCAA tournament next year. You have to be more consistent next year. You have to look like you're amongst the top half of the ACC and not just beating up on the bottom half for the most part. And that's where Louisville's been for the most part. Louisville has been the elite of the ACC, and it needs to get itself right back there. So yeah, excited about Louisville football. I think 16 is a good starting point for them. Obviously, it's not the official preseason poll, but certainly a nice barometer of where things sit now. Basketball, men's basketball, Pat Kelsey has just been getting it done as we make our final few steps on this hike. Now really obviously can focus with his roster set. Now focusing on the future, 2025, 2026. I've been to a 3SSB, watched a lot of guys down there. I've been to the EYBL in Indianapolis, watched a lot of the guys that they're eyeing there as well. Now Jody Demling is checking them out as he's been out on the road at Kansas City over the weekend. Plenty of content on who Louisville is looking at, who's thinking about visiting, what these new prospects think of the Louisville offer, and head coach Pat Kelsey. So a lot of it exclusive. This Cardinal Authority continues to be really the only publication that goes out and gets the news. So anyways, a lot of exciting things happening for both Louisville football and Louisville basketball, men's basketball and women's basketball. I'd like to see that same type of momentum, all three of them, since I mentioned them, doing well in the portal, doing well in NIL. I'd like to see Louisville baseball jump into that mix and be able to say a similar thing about the Cardinal baseball program this time next year, hopefully, as Louisville is preparing for a regional appearance. So we'll end it here. Bald Eagle spot. You can look through this little thing off into the distance, and there's supposed to be an eagle's nest out there somewhere. I am not able to really see it with the blind eye, and I am almost wondering if a shorter tree has grown up in front of the tree that houses the nest, which I think is further off into the distance. But shall we take a peek? Let's look. I don't see a nest. I do. I think it's beyond the branches of those smaller pine trees. Shall we see if you can look through yourself? Oh, there it is. Kidding. Would be cool. So, anyways, doesn't surprise me that there would be bald eagles here with that huge lake and National Wildlife Refuge. There's going to be a lot of critters. So, yeah, let's end it there. A lot of excitement for Louisville football. A lot of excitement for Louisville men's and women's basketball. Due in part because of their efforts in the transfer portal and NIL. So, yeah, let's see Louisville baseball get to that same spot. So this time next year, I'm chasing them for their regional appearance. All right, let's do it. Train coming. Like that. Barely made it across.